Researchers have designed an artificial intelligence model that is better able to predict how much students are learning in educational games. The improved model makes use of an AI training concept called multitask learning, and could be used to improve both instruction and learning outcomes. Free trade is an economic policy under which the government does not interfere with trade. No tariffs are applied to imports or exports, and people are allowed to trade goods and services as they please. Supply and demand dictates the prices for which goods and services sell and are the only factors that determine how resources are allocated in society. Researchers have found a way to convert the aromatic substance aniline into a redox-active electrolyte material for liquid batteries. The technology is an important step towards ecologically sustainable energy storage. At the beginning of each fiscal year, funds are allocated to each state account in accordance with the university's financial plan. Funds are allocated to each account by objective expenditure. Account managers are responsible for ensuring that adequate funds are available in the appropriate object before initiating transactions to use the funds. Public demand for education has remained strong, reflecting the importance of education as a means of social progress. Aware of the added value of education to the world of work, the government continues to innovate and update the education system in order to produce a qualified and competent workforce. Globalization has affected what we eat in ways we are only beginning to understand. More and more food production no longer related to our biological needs but is in directly conflict with them. The relationship between diet and our fertility, our cancer, heart diseases, and mental illness is becoming clear, yet much of our food is nutritionally bankrupt. Welfare has a special political meaning to the United States because it refers to how the poor receives financial aid. In comparison, welfare services are regarded as a universal right in other regions like Europe, where it is believed that all citizens should be able to obtain a minimal level of social support and well-being. Artificial neural networks have recently become the state-of-the-art technique for crucial signal processing applications such as specific frequencies classification, structural health monitoring, disease detection in power electronics circuitry, and motor fault detection. This is an expected outcome as there are numerous advantages of using adaptive and compact D-counterparts. In Antarctica, around the South Pole, the temperature can fall to -60 degrees Celsius in winter. The snow rarely melts. The Arctic region at the North Pole is not quite as cold because it is made of a frozen ocean and in the summer the snow melts. Killer cosmic rays from nearby supernovae could be the culprit behind at least one mass extinction event, researchers said, and finding certain radioactive isotopes in Earth's rock record could confirm this scenario. A 30-year-old transgender woman has become the first officially recorded to breastfeed her baby. An experimental 3.5-month treatment regimen, which included hormones, a nausea drug, and breast stimulation. Fake news can distort people's beliefs even after being debunked. For example, repeated over and over, a story such as the one about the Pope endorsing Trump can create a glow around a political candidate that persists long after the story is exposed as fake. Long isolated from Western Europe, Russia grew up without participating in the development like the Reformation that many Russians taking pride in their unique culture find dubious value. Russia is, as a result, the most unusual member of the European family, if indeed it is European at all. Our widespread participation in social media in recent years has led to the emergence of what is termed social media influencers. These online entrepreneurs are people who have created a positive reputation amongst their followers for providing knowledge or expertise on a particular subject. The Grand Canyon is 277 miles long, up to 18 miles wide and attains a depth of over a mile. While the specific geologic processes and timing that formed the Grand Canyon is the subject of debate by geologists, recent evidence suggests the Colorado River established its course through the canyon at least 17 million years ago. In 1994, Microsoft's founder, Bill Gates, said that although banking is necessary, banks are really not. At a time when many traditional institutions and ways of doing things are changing, banking is changing too. There are now new ways of accessing loans and lending money. The department determines whether or not the candidate has passed the examination. In cases where an appearance for the final public oral examination would constitute a substantial financial hardship for the candidate, the Director of Graduate Studies may recommend to the Dean of the Graduate School that the examination be waived. It seems that language appeared from nowhere since no other species has anything resembling human language. However, other animals do possess basic systems for perceiving and producing sounds that enable them to communicate. These systems may have been in place before the appearance of language. A single protein is a master regulator of mouse muscle function during aging. A new study finds blocking this protein increased muscle strength and endurance in old animals. It may play a role in age-related muscle weakening in humans. Although it hails from a remote region of the western Himalayas, this plant now looks entirely at home on the banks of English rivers. Brought to the UK in 1839, it quickly escaped colonized river banks and damp woodlands. Now it is spreading across Europe, New Zealand, and Canada and the US.